Rudi Virchow observed that cells replicate, and thus he made the very simple statement that cells come from other cells. Then someone asked about diseased cells, like cancer, for example. Where do they come from? Again, Virchow answered just as simply that diseased cells came from other diseased cells. But he soon realized that he was being much too simplistic, that there had to be a first cell that wasn't always diseased, but had become diseased. That caused his first law to be reevaluated too, because somehow there had to be a first cell. Virchow was an atheist, so he didn't have the option of saying that it had just been conjured out of nothing by magic. Instead, the eventual conclusion was that the first cells had to come from a prior matrix. It's a process, or rather a series of processes, which Thomas Huxley labeled abiogenesis, and which researchers today regard as origin of life studies. We've learned quite a bit about that now, especially in the last couple decades or so, but still not everything.
And then it talks about mutation and natural selection and how it can change one animal into another.
Except that it doesn't. Creationists like to misrepresent evolution, saying that it means one kind of thing changing into or giving birth to another fundamentally different kind of thing. It's not like that at all. Evolution is a theory of biodiversity, summarily defined as descent with inherent modification. That means that every new breed or species or genus that ever evolved was just a modified version of whatever its ancestors were. And that means that one basic type of animal, like a carnivore, for example, diversifies into many varieties of carnivores, like civet cats or proto-dogs, eventually leading to cats and dogs, both subsets of the original lineage, and both continuing to diversify into many different varieties of cats and many different forms of dogs. Not just different breeds, but different species of each too, to keep the illustration as simple as I can possibly make it.
But mutation only loses information, and natural selection can only choose from what's there.
Don't let creationists teach you anything about biology, because one of their favorite lies is that mutations only lose information. And they'll point to a deletion mutation and call that a loss.